everybody, it's Tim Heinen's Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy, back again. I got a stack of reissues that I'm going to talk about today. You know, these reissues have been kind of hanging around a little bit. And I started picking up some, you know, like hard to find or, you know, like classic stuff that is just priced astronomical. And as I was finding them reissued, I kind of was like, well, let me just kind of put together a nice healthy stack of these and talk about the different qualities thereof as well. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Some needle drops for you, so let's just jump right in. Going to be a little bit of on the heavy hard rock psych stuff, so if that's not your bag, I'm sorry, but I love it. So first up is Jerusalem. So this is a 20, what does it say it is? I don't think it said, but I think this is like a 2021 reissue. So it's done by Vintage. It's gatefold. Got all the lyrics and stuff. And what I like about this one is that, you know, it came in a MoFi style sleeve. They replicated the Darum label, which is kind of cool when it can do that. It kind of think it adds to a little bit of the collectability. But they did a really good job with this one. So it says all-time classic British rock album from 1972, produced by Deep Purple's legendary frontman Ian Gillan. This is just heavy goodness. I don't think it was sourced, from the original tapes directly. But, you know, when you see something that says it's from the original tapes, unless it specifically said it was direct mastered directly from, it could be digitally sourced. So, you know, at that point, you're worried more about compression than digital. So this sounded really good. The music on it's fantastic. So I would recommend that one highly as far as a reissue. But in case you're not familiar with Jerusalem, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a taste. Next up is a psych classic. I mean, there's no other way to describe this. And that's the Blues Creation, Demon and 11 Children. I saw this one pop up and I could not click by fast enough. The gatefold, they replicate down to the Japanese lettering. I mean, this is just fantastic. If you've heard this album, you know that this is just fantastic Japanese psych, done on the Therapeutic label. Now, obviously not the original label. This is a reissue. It is an official reissue because there's a lot of unofficials out there as well. But this one was done. You got the little Therapeutic up there. So this one, I'm gonna guess completely digitally sourced, but you know what? It didn't sound that flat. It did sound like it was mixed a touch hot, but compared to what I paid versus what they go for, I'm not mad at that at all. So if you collect psych music, this one should be a cornerstone of your collection. Really just fantastic stuff. Vocals may take you a little bit to get into, but I mean, it's classic Japanese psych that you just can't find. So I'll give you a little bit of taste of that and check it out, Blues Creation. Next one, not much really to talk about with this. This is, yes, is the Ladder. So this one, I mean, you can find earlier presses of this, but I just find that Music on Vinyl puts out a fantastic quality product. Highly recommend Music on Vinyl. I know some people have problems with it being digitally sourced, but again, you're going to hear that a lot from me. It's all depends on how it's mixed, how it was digitally sourced. Those are just items that just honestly, it doesn't matter to me. And being as that this is a later recording, chances are it went directly to a digital format anyway. So this helps round out some of my holes in the Yes collection. I am a stickler when it comes to some of the later stuff. If it don't have John Anderson, it's really hard for me to get into it. If it doesn't have John Anderson or Chris Squire, it's probably not a Yes album for me. But obviously this one does, so glad to have it. This next one is a reissue of sorts. So, and I say that because it's a later pressing. It's like a 2013, 2014, and I'm finally happy to have this on wax on the collection. One of my favorite albums, it was one of my favorite albums for my wife as well, and that's the Curious Disintegration, the 1989 classic. So I specifically held out for a later press, and the reason being is that not only is this a long album, I mean it's 12 cuts, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, about 12. But earlier presses, the 2 songs were bonus tracks for the CD and the cassette. Well, that's all I've ever known, because I didn't buy it on vinyl originally. I bought it on cassette and had it on cassette until I broke my cassette, and then I instantly went out and bought it on CD. So I've only never known that's those songs, and in that order. This keeps that order and those songs intact. So this is a 2 LP later reissue. It's done through Polydor in the UK. And if you're looking to get this one on wax, don't get an early one. I can't stress that enough. This sounds fantastic. Price-wise, they're probably going to be in the same ballpark. But honestly, for what you get in this, that gets my seal of approval right there, because the music, you don't want to miss a song on this one. It's easily in my top 50 albums of all time, and it's just a classic, and you cannot deny it. So next up is another heavy hitter, one that a lot of people may not be familiar with, and that's Tear Gas. So Tear Gas, this one was very blues acid rock. It was 1971. And this is done on the Trading Places label. Now, Trading Places is done out of the UK. Everything that they do comes from a digital source, but it's mixed in a proper fashion. I have a few reissues from Trading Places. I have a couple from Caterpillar, which is a prog rock band, and Sir Lord Baltimore, also early heavy psych, that kind of like precursor to heavy metal. It's bands like these that bridge the gap from Sabbath and Zeppelin to what became, like the Priest and the Maiden. You can really hear a lot of that in this stuff. This is just heavy stuff. So I was very happy to score this one. This one is highly worth your time if you're into that heavy blues rock influence, 70s heavy, like almost acid dripping stuff. This is just fantastic, and originals go for stupid money. So for this one, you're better off going with this. And let me give you a taste of that one right now.
I can see and I can feel, with the window, with the wheel, I'll tell you.
next, probably my biggest value in this whole stack is this one. This is Leaf Hound Grower of Mushrooms. Again, very, very blues heavy, hard rock, almost acid dripping. This one, originals, stupid. I mean, we're talking like house payment stupid, or 2 house payments stupid. I mean, it's really ridiculous. So I knew that was never going to happen. I actually picked this one up, and it's this was before the ownership change at Triangle, and he had 2, and I should have bought them both. In hindsight, being 2020, and the next time I went back, they were gone. Or the other one was gone. So this was done on Recoil Records. Now, Recoil Records, from my research, is out of Poland. They only did a few, so, and they all seem to be like, the ones that they did seem to be like serious, in that they are like hard to find or needed reissue, garage rock psych stuff, and so they clearly were fans of that type of stuff, and definitely had to be digitally sourced, unless they somehow ripped it from an early copy that was super clean, because it sounds really, really good. So I'm very, very pleased with this one, especially considering it didn't cost me, internal organs in my marriage. But yeah, I got this for a great price. So if you're not familiar with this one, I want to give you a taste of it, not just for the music itself, but so you can get a taste of just how well this one is, because this one's a sought after record. So let's check them out.
If I'm gonna do all those things that you asked me to, I'm gonna live like a freelance fiend.
Morgan. If you collect psych, you're into the heavy stuff, you know this album, you know this cover. So this was repressed by Now Again Records on their Now Again Reserve in print. So I have a love-hate relationship, if I'm being honest, with Now Again Records. Now Again Records was started by DJ producer Egon, and he wanted to kind of like preserve these hard to find, unheard records from all around the world. Great idea. Highly encourage it. Let's not let the music die in some random places, and it should be heard. And these are important albums. Doesn't use the best manufacturing, United, and it bothers me. So I have a couple reissues that out of the package sounded great. I got the reissue a few record store days ago of one of the early David Axelrods, and that was fine. I have a couple of the JBs that they put out like after finding session tapes or whatever, and those sound good. But then I have another David Axelrod reissue, Earth Rot, and that came in warped, and it was a record store day issue, and it was a big to do, and I had to contact the label, and it was, they took care of me. I don't want to say that their customer service was bad, but if you use good pressings and good manufacturing, you don't have these problems. So knowing that, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on this. Now this is a 2 LP set. It comes with a second LP full of like bonus material and alternate takes, and that's kind of cool, but honestly, I listened to it once. I bought it for the main album. It did come with this really cool book about the music, about Steve Morgan and his band, so that was really, really cool, and I really enjoyed that. It was really a lot of fun to just check out, but so that was an extra bonus. But there's the true host of the show, just going past and saying hi. So it was cool to get the bonus material. Wasn't it a necessity? No. But my issue was, once again, the manufacturing. And it sounds okay, maybe a touch high in the mix. But I even cleaned them because I knew what I was buying. I knew what label I was buying. And side 4, there's dust that's so embedded into the groove, makes the needle skip. And I've got to go find the spot and gently work it out. And it plays fine. I shouldn't have to, for what I spend, I shouldn't have to do that. It should be a smoother transition from purchase to enjoyment. And there he goes again. But so I wanted to really give this one an A+ score. Honestly, you can probably, for what I spend, find a decent reissue out there that isn't done by them, and the extras are just that. They're extras. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad I have it. I don't feel the need to look for another one. But I probably could have just got another reissue and been just as happy. Or if you really want to pay up to triple figures and get an original press, that might be the one out of this stack that I might say not be a bad idea. So, but if you're not familiar with Morgan, check it out.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Out said Jack as he touched the lighted wick. My God, you know that fire burns. They never go, no, 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 no. La, 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 la.
Next up is this one, Lovin Criminals. So this just got a 25th anniversary reissue. It is on, oh no, it is, I thought it was a single pocket for some unknown reason, but it's not. It is a gatefold. If you're not familiar with Lovin Criminals, that's what you heard at the beginning. So Lovin Criminals is mainly a 3-piece, 1, 2, 3, out of the New York, New Jersey area. They had a big, I say big as if like they were like gangbusters. They had a couple minor college radio hits, one called Scooby Snacks. And then there was the Lovin Criminal that got a little bit of airplay, King of New York, Bomb in the L. So the best I can describe them as jazz and hip hop trio with a touch of blues. So the main guy here plays guitar and raps, and then you got stand-up bass and drums. They do bring in horns at times. They have some sampling going on. They did a 2 LP reissue on colored wax, one red and one yellow. I was happy to get this one because I actually was probably one of like 20 people that bought this CD when it came out. So I really, really enjoyed it. But they also expanded it to a 2 LP. So earlier presses were on a 1 LP. It did a 2 LP. And then the fourth side is bonus cuts. Some of them worth your time, some of them probably not so much. But the album proper is on 3, sounds fantastic. We're gonna give you another taste of the Lovin Criminals from their debut record, Come Find Yourself. Probably their best one in their catalog, but if you like what you hear, go check them out.
You better make a decision. I chose the former cause I heard it was warmer. April in Paris, hell south of the border. They put me together, tougher than leather. They set me on your ass cause they didn't know better. Getting it on to the great spot. Getting it on, getting it on, getting it on. Running around, robbing banks, all whacked on with stupid snacks. Running around, robbing banks, all whacked on with stupid snacks.
Last up, I got a twofer. And honestly, pound for pound, dollar for dollar. These are probably some of the best reissues you're going to find out on the market today. If you are a jazz aficionado, you are well aware of the classic vinyl series and the Tone Poet series from Blue Note. If you are not a jazz aficionado, I highly recommend that you pay attention to the classic vinyl series and the Tone Poet series, because they are repressing some important records in their catalog. And it's a great way to add impactful, great sounding jazz for a fraction of the price. I say fraction. This first one that I'm going to show, you can probably find reissues of it for probably about the same price, maybe even a little less, but I don't think that they hold a candle to this pressing, and that's Donald Byrd's Places and Spaces. This album is just absolutely fantastic, and this is in Blue Note's later period, so they're incorporating, people like Donald Byrd are incorporating a little bit more soul, a little bit more funk to it, so this isn't just bop, hard bop jazz. But this album is really something special. It is just phenomenal from beginning to end, and it's actually on the later Blue Note label, which doesn't matter to me. I mean, it could be on just a blue label that's written in crayons as Blue Note. The music is fantastic. This one's really worth your time if you are interested in jazz, but you're not quite sure where you want to go. Because it does have the soul and funk elements to it, which is just incredible. And in the Tone Poet series, The All-Seeing Eye from Wayne Shorter, just in such an important record. You've got Freddie Hubbard, you've got Alan Shorter on flugelhorn, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Joe Chambers, obviously Wayne Shorter on tenor. And the Tone Poet series, they are just, I mean, they don't skimp on the quality. You know, these are audiophile presses for Eric Weinbein. Let's see if I can get it. The crease break. They really do put a lot of detail into the jacket. You get some beautiful photos. I mean, top to bottom, you can get these when they come out, $35 to $40. Lesser, you know, catch them on sale sometimes. They go out of print, which they say they are not, but I've already seen cases where they are. But if you get them and you get them early, you will not find a bad record in a bunch. And you want to talk about pressed well, these really, really are. Tone Poet, with what they're doing, they get my ultimate seal of approval. They are really just driving home the quality at an affordable price. And I mean, I'm no audiophile, not by any stretch of the means, but jazz I want to sound great. It's one of those genres that a tick, a pop, especially in those quieter moments, can take you out of your experience. So I tend to be very, very picky when I bring jazz in the collection, because it's got to be something I like. I struggle with free jazz. Spirituals about as hard as I can go, and even then that's a question at times. So I'm always careful of what I bring in. But if it's a vintage or a pre-owned copy, I'm looking it over really, really hard. Not that I'm a snob, but I just know the experience. And with these new reissues from Blue Note, you don't have a problem. So highly recommend those. So with that, you know, with these reissues, I think they are, for the most part, a great way to add some incredible music to your collection, like I did mine, at a fraction of the prices. Hey, if first pressings are your thing and that's what you want to collect and you only do one genre or whatever it is, I'm not here to tell you how to collect. I'm just saying, don't forget about them. because it's a great way to add some great music. So got a lot more stuff planned if I can only get to it, because you know I'm so quick on my videos, but I have a lot more I need to show. So let's hopefully we'll get those shown soon. So with that, hopefully everybody's well. We're wrapping up May. We're in the middle of May. Where did May? We'll just let that sink in. May. Anyway, everybody, we'll talk soon. Take care. Peace.